Hello everybody. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here. Welcome to another class that I'm going to share with you about Audacious Grace. So we're 9 days in to our 21-day practice of making audacious grace a new habit in our lives. So how is it going for you? What are you noticing about this experience of like turning that thank you that you use in your day-to-day life towards people and actually turning it to express thank you to God, the universe, spirit, divine source, whatever preference or label that you prefer, um, for the everyday grace in your life, to express that gratitude for the everyday grace in your life. So tell me how it's going. Type in the comments. Tell me how it's going, what you're noticing for yourself. And I'm going to share with you two things that I'm really noticing myself about practicing audacious grace, that you just like the consistency of it, which in the past, to be really honest, I've done like gratitude practices and I've had trouble sticking with it. So I'm going to give you some concepts today that you can apply to help you keep the momentum up. But the shift for me really happened when I just realized that as a person who considers herself to have very good manners, to be very polite, to be grateful for what people do for me, but I wasn't actually being grateful for what God or the universe or spirit, whatever you call it, those unseen powers, I wasn't expressing gratitude to God for all of the things in my life, or to the universe for all the things in my life. And I just realized that was something really amiss in my life. And so that was the shift for me that really brought that practice of intentional gratitude into something that really made sense for me to be able to do, to really, of course, I say thank you to people all the time. Why would I not express gratitude to the universe, to God, for the things that I am so blessed to have in this life, that all of us are so blessed to have in this life? I mean, as Canadians and Americans and Australians and, you know, all of us who live in these developed countries, we literally have so much to be grateful for. Just in the morning when our feet hit the ground, right? The fact that we have electricity and we have indoor plumbing steps from our bedroom, from our bed, that alone is such a blessing that so many people in the world do not have. And so to be able to just start to consider all of the many blessings in our life and to give thanks for those things, just as we would give thanks to the person who, the barista who makes our coffee at Starbucks. We say thank you for that blessing. So applying that same concept to being able to be thankful for the bigger things, the more important, significant things in our lives, is such a different perspective on how to look at gratitude. And so that's what Audacious Grace is all about. And the things that I'm noticing about practicing that are that the more grateful I am, the more I notice to be grateful for. And you might be experiencing that same thing. And the second thing that I'm really noticing is that the more grateful I am, actually, the more grace I'm experiencing. It just seems to have triggered this thing where all of a sudden a lot of really good things are happening. Good unexpected things are happening. So I'll give you a couple of personal stories, some personal examples of how I've just been experiencing more grace as I've become more conscious of it. So one thing was, I was picking up my daughter from her work last week, and a coworker came out of the office to my car and gave me a 10-pound box of fresh blueberries, like a big box of juicy, beautiful blueberries for free. And they were from her boss, who had ordered them into the office, and they'd all gotten their boxes, and then they realized that they had an extra box in the delivery. And so they asked Opal and said, would your mom be able to use this? Would she be, would she like blueberries? And I was so delighted. I was so grateful for it, because I freeze blueberries this time of year to use my smoothies all winter long. And I was just thinking, like, okay, I need to get some blueberries. I need to go out and buy some blueberries and get them frozen. And instead, I had them like literally delivered right to the door of my car. And that was just such a great thing to acknowledge and be grateful for, and to feel that experience of just recognizing, wow, that's really so fortunate, and I'm really lucky to have that experience. So that was one of the many experiences that I've had. I'll share one more with you. Over the long weekend, the past long weekend, I was out camping, and I went to take off my down vest at night after I'd come in, and I thought I felt something kind of in the pocket. I thought it was in the inside pocket, so I took the vest off and I checked in the inside pocket. There wasn't anything there, and so then I thought it was got to be in the outside pocket. So I unzipped the outside pocket, and I pulled out a $20 bill. And I was already like thinking, oh, this is great. Like, when you find money that you didn't know you had in a pocket and you're so excited about it. And I was already saying Audacious Grace for the $20 bill when I realized that there's actually more than one $20 bill there. So I kind of spread it apart in my, between my thumb and my fingers. And I saw like 4 $20 bills. And I was like, yes, like $80 of money that I didn't know that I had. This is like, I'm using my manners to like thank the universe. This is fantastic. What a great surprise. Then I took them apart and I realized there's actually 5 of them. So there's like 5 $20 bills in my pocket. So it's like $100 of unexpected grace in my life. And it's just so fun to begin to start noticing these things, and just elevates your mood so much. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the 5 ways that Audacious Grace can equal a better life for you. Plus, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help you keep that Audacious Grace momentum going. So I was also going to share with you 5 facts about Audacious Grace that will help you see new possibility for yourself. But after I started to like jot down all of the things that I wanted to share with you about that, I realized that's an entire live stream in itself. That's an entire class in itself. So I will share that with you next week, because I don't want to have to rush through those things. I want to be able to cover it in the depth that will really serve you and benefit you. So I'll do another class next week, and we'll dive into the 5 facts about Audacious Grace that will help you see new possibility for yourself. So I've already shared with you some very simple but still joyful, positive experiences I've already experienced as a result of practicing Audacious Grace. And I'm going to give you like 5 ways Audacious Grace can equal a better life for you. So essentially, like, why practicing Audacious Grace will make your life experience better. And really, isn't that what we're truly all after, right? Like, we all want to live better lives. That's the whole point, right? Like, to live a great life, that's what we're here to do, right? So I want you to know how to do it. I'm going to give you some tools about how you can use or how using Audacious Grace actually does contribute to a better life for you. It equals a better life for you. Okay. So the first one is practicing Audacious Grace provides the opportunity for you to be present. So this is the antidote to just going through the motions of our day, right? So just doing our life instead of actually living our life, right? So practicing audacious grace helps you to like stop and be in the moment, to notice and savor the blessings and the fun and the fortune and the luck and the serendipity and the synchronicity and all those things that happen in our lives, but we are so busy going from one thing to the next, and we're so busy not being present that we miss them, right? So practicing audacious grace actually helps you, gives you that opportunity, because you could be more present to actually notice those things because you're being intentional about it. You want to see them, you want to notice them, right? Okay, so that's one. Another way that audacious grace can equal a better life for you is it changes the way that you perceive yourself and your life by adjusting what you're focusing on, right? So I always say, like, what you focus on, you're going to see, right? That makes sense, right? Like if I am focusing on, looking at this pen, I'm going to see this pen, right? So if you're looking at the good things in your life, that's what you're going to see, right? So if you're looking for or at the things in your life to be audaciously grateful for, you're going to see them, right? That's just logical. And the more good things you notice about your life, the better you're going to feel about it and about yourself, which that in itself is just another incredible blessing, another thing to be audaciously grateful for, for feeling good about yourself, for feeling good about your life. So that's another way that practicing audacious grace contributes to a better life. A third way is audacious grace is a pause that allows you to consider your blessings and your fortune, because it's so easy to, in life, it's so easy to look for like all the things that are wrong, all the things that are not the way we want them to be. And I know that kind of focus just like takes you down the rabbit hole, right? That's how we get into feeling hopeless, to feeling depression, to feeling worthless, to feeling despair. By taking that pause to consider the blessings and considering the fortune, it actually reverses that downward spiral, right? And that downward negative spiral. So it actually reverses that, starts turning that around. So our mood actually uplifts. In positive psychology, they call that falling upwards, right? Like falling up. So just that stopping to consider the blessings and the good fortune in your life actually puts a stop to that negative downward spiral and changes your mood to be able to actually start to feel better in your life. Okay. A fourth way is that audacious grace is a daily serving of positivity that actually raises your personal consciousness, right? So a positive mind is able to see way more opportunity and solutions and new approaches to things that will contribute to a better life for you, right? Better choices, better decisions than a negative mind will. So, in fact, the part of the brain that's activated when we're in a negative mind actually isn't even capable of seeing or generating new ideas or solutions or seeing opportunities. That's just not the function of that part of the brain, right? So when we're in negativity, we can't see a solution. We can't see a way out of it, right? And we all know that. We've all experienced that, where you just get like so negative or unhappy about something that it just seems like it's hopeless. It just seems like there's no other alternative, there's no other solution, there's no way to fix this or change this, right? So being in that positive mindset that you get from practicing that audacious grace and recognizing all the positive blessings in your life actually activates that higher thinking part of the brain, a totally different part of the brain that's activated when we are in a negative mindset. And so that higher thinking part of the brain, that prefrontal cortex, that is actually the solution center of our mind. So that's the part of the brain that actually is able to put ideas together and form new concepts and come up with ideas. And it's actually been proven that when that part of the brain, that positive prefrontal cortex solution oriented part of the brain is activated, our peripheral vision actually widens, right? We actually can see better when that part of the brain is activated. So that's when we can start to see new opportunities, new solutions, new possibilities for ourselves. And that comes from activating that positive part of the brain that is activated when we're practicing audacious grace. And the fifth thing is that practicing audacious grace is really a mood enhancer, right? Because it increases those feelings of abundance and being blessed. And what that does is that actually raises your vibrational energy, right? Which creates a higher level of frequency of attraction, right? We live in a universe where everything is energy. And we all know, we learned this back in science in high school, that like energy attracts like energy. So whatever level of energy you're vibrating at is the level that you're attracting to yourself. So our vibration is actually triggered by our emotion, right? So emotion is energy in motion, right? So emotion is what actually determines our level of vibration in our body. So when we are practicing audacious grace and we're elevating our emotions into that higher frequency emotion of gratitude and positivity and hopefulness and inspiration and creativity and all those things that come from practicing audacious frequency, raising our vibrational frequency, and therefore attracting things at that level. So a higher quality of life, a better quality of life. All right. So that's the fifth way that practicing audacious grace can equal a better life for you. Okay, so that's 5 things. They're all great incentive to continue practicing your daily audacious grace. And I want to give you 5 tips to keep the audacious grace momentum up. So first one is keep it fresh. All right, so don't keep being grateful for the same things every day. It's great to be grateful for those things, but stretch yourself beyond the great things right in front of you. So open your eyes to more of the world around you, right? Use that peripheral vision, and this will deeply enhance your audacious grace practice, right? It will make a game out of noticing fresh things that you have never before noticed in your day-to-day experiences. Appreciate those things, okay? So begin to appreciate that. So, you can be grateful for your cup of coffee in the morning, but take it beyond that. Like think about the person halfway around the world or down in, South America who is growing those coffee beans for you, and expand your audacious graciousness for that, right? For that person getting up every morning and doing their job that brings that nice, steamy, hot cup of coffee to you every day, right? That's just a whole other level of audacious grace. So that's one. Another one is be specific. So yes, you're grateful for your family, right? But writing that every day becomes boring, it becomes monotonous, and pretty soon you're not going to do it, right? So instead, write the specific things that you're grateful for about your family members. So rather than just writing like, I'm grateful for my daughter, be specific and write, I'm grateful that today my daughter and I shared a great moment of laughter over going to Mamma Mia 2, which we're going to be doing later today with my girlfriend and her daughter. So be specific. Like, I'm grateful that I get to spend that time with my daughter today. I'm grateful that I get to go out and experience a fun movie with her, right? Like, be specific, because that generates a whole other level of emotion. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to activate the emotion, right? Activate that emotion in your body. If you're just writing it down, you're just going through the motions, it's not changing anything for you. We want to activate the emotion, all right? So commit to the payoff. The benefits of practicing Audacious Grace are exciting, right? It's more energy, it's better sleep, it's less anxiety, it's more optimism, it's increased motivation, it's less loneliness, it's a greater sense of feeling connected to others. The science shows it's a increased confidence, it's more personal dreams fulfilled, it's an overall upgrade to the quality of your life, your happiness, your well-being, right? All the science shows that. We talked about that in the last Facebook Live. So what's not to love about that, right? But these payoffs, they come as a result of building the habit of daily gratitude, right? And let's face it, that takes time and that takes energy to create a new habit. So acknowledge that it's going to take effort and that you're still going to do it because you want that bigger payoff. You want that long-term benefit that comes with it, because your efforts will be rewarded, right? This appeals to that intrinsic motivation that we all have, right? That deep desire within us to persist in a task for the bigger reward, the greater reward of it, right? And the greater reward is going to feel amazing, right? It's going to be like a whole new kind of amazing for you. The fourth way to keep up the momentum is do it your way, right? So if journaling your Audacious Grace doesn't suit you, do it your way. Like you could create an Audacious Grace jar where you just scribble on a piece of paper what your Audacious Grace is for you, and then put it in the jar. And then it's always fun to, like, then you could just grab one out and read it again, and it just revives that, you know, feeling of gratitude for you again. You could even do it, like, make it an event, like say for New Year's, right? At New Year's, you dump them all back out and you go back through them again. It would be the same as going back through a journal and reliving it all again and experiencing that Audacious Grace again for all of the things that you've experienced. Or you could also do something like, you could create a photo collection. So you're just taking pictures of your phone of those experiences, those moments that you're audaciously grateful for. You could add those to a collage. You could hang them on the wall. You could frame them, right? You could put them as your a digital version on your desktop, right? So get creative. Do Audacious Grace your way. Because then you're more likely to stick with it. You're more likely to continue doing it if you're enjoying the process. That's just like the way we work, right? And then the fifth way is, and this is a really big one, don't expect perfection, right? And we talk about this a lot in Imperfect and Unapologetic, because perfectionism just like stops everything, right? So this is called a practice. It's not called perfection. So if you miss a day, you know, don't think all is lost because your 21-day streak is broke. Just get back in the Audacious Grace saddle and mosey on, right? That's what practice is, right? It's the act of doing it again and again to get someplace different from where you started. So if you miss a day, you're still getting there, right? Just get back on it and continue doing it, because what we're working towards the long-term benefits, right? We're working towards a new result. We're not working towards perfection, okay? So that's it. Tell me in the comments whether you're watching now or whether you're watching the replay, how it's practicing Audacious Grace is going for you. What are you noticing about the experience of practicing Audacious Grace and thanking the universe or God or spirit for your everyday grace in your life? What are you noticing about it? And also post your Audacious Grace here in Imperfect and Unapologetic, so we can all celebrate with you, right? Because the power of collective gratitude is exponentially more powerful. So let's all benefit together. I'll be saying thank you to all of you who are here in Imperfect and Unapologetic for being here. I'll be saying noting that in my Audacious Grace journal. And let's all just continue to do this for our own benefit. This is an experiment, a 21-day experiment to just see what happens, what shifts in our life as a result of practicing this Audacious Grace for 21 days, okay? So we have 12 days left. Let's see what happens over the next 12 days. And if you have any questions, hi Hazel, nice to see you here. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments, and I'm happy to. Thanks Hazel for the thumbs up. I'm happy to answer them. I'll be checking back in, and let me know how it's going for you. I want to know how Audacious Grace is impacting and changing your life. All right, so it's so good to see you all here again, and I'll be checking back into the group. And enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'm off to see Mamma Mia too later today because Cher's in it. Yay! All right, have a great day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.